So, something that's been coming up very frequently um, for me in my work and in getting to know people and being with people in general is this idea that studies or scientific research um, uh, in support of an idea or new developments is the only way to validate information that we receive and disseminate uh, in our cultures and in our communities. So, what I would like to bring into that is also from the shaman's perspective. So, when studies scientifically are produced, this comes from a very logical place. It's logic, there's a structure, and it's from the mind. So we validate information that we, or a hunch that someone may have, and then it's followed up with research, and results are produced and an outcome is observed. So that's one way to gain information and knowledge. However, in that particular respect, and it's one that our culture is very focused on, it involves only our mind, our logic. And this is a very small part of our being as a whole. So from the shaman's perspective, the shamanic priestess's perspective, we look at all of the information that we receive, not just from our mind, to validate our experiences, our knowledge, and our wisdom. This is something that is reawakening right now, and something that we need to trust. We've lost the connection between our inner knowing, how to access information that exists all of the time from anywhere. We tend to have a very narrow view of how we access information, and so therefore focus on the mind and how the mind takes in this information. But there's so much more. There's so much more, so many more avenues that we have at our availability at any point. So we get into the realm of intuition, of inner knowing, knowing without knowing how we're knowing it, and trusting that that space. Also, within that realm of intuition, and through the structure of our being, as we begin to heal and come into contact with different parts of ourselves through our inner exploration, we begin to receive information in different ways. Sometimes it may happen in meditation. You may have that experience. Sometimes it may happen in a group. All of a sudden there will be an inspiration, or you'll have a thought, a connection. You'll see a pattern. And these are things that happen naturally, and we all have experience with that, and we all have access to that. So what has been happening is that all of our concentration as a culture and all of our commending has been towards the mind. And that's fine. We need our mind. We need, it's great to have studies. However, what this new earth is revealing, this new earth, this new era that we are stepping into as a global community, with our consciousness raising and becoming more aware of subtle aspects and of how information can move how it can move. This is what is coming up now from the shaman's perspective. The earth is at a place where she is available in different ways. And as we tune into the various channels within ourselves, they're invisible. So that makes it harder for the mind to grasp. It takes a lot of trust and exploration and sometimes help from others who are also in this, to be able to make the leap of faith and step forward courageously and trust when those questions come or when the answers arise. So in this reawakening process, this new earth is showing us that we have access to absolutely every kind of information that we are requesting. This is a reality, and it is becoming stronger and stronger as each day passes, and the earth herself offers this very freely through her channels towards our channels. So no longer is it necessary to back up, so to speak, our thoughts or our instincts about issues. Some people don't believe their own thoughts, for example, unless they can find some sort of evidence, physical evidence, statistical evidence to back it up. However, it's doing a great disservice to all of humanity to put the blinders on for just having a mental view of the world and a validation. If you spend time in nature, this is one way that you can start to accept and trust how it is that you're able to take in information, knowledge, wisdom. Naturally, you start to see and feel and look and perceive in a different light. Take your time in nature. The other part is trusting that inner voice that may be very, very small, like a whisper, yet you know there is something in that, something very true. And within that realness, you start to go deeper and explore even further. And you start to go into a place of stillness, a place of quiet. And from that place of quiet arises the perfect connections, the perfect thought, the perfect knowledge that is being requested, that you're looking for, that will dawn on you. So we need certain infrastructure inside and practices that we implement in order to tune up our system to this new way of communicating, to receiving wisdom and information, and also to transmitting this. The inner restructuring is something that you may need guidance on. You may need to connect with another that can support that, because we're not always able to see for ourselves what it is that is blocking our vision or blocking our our subtle intuition. So healings, ceremonies, honoring, rituals, acknowledging. Simply acknowledging is very powerful for turning on and tuning in to your abilities, to tune in with what's current. It's almost like it's like a news station. You're tuning in to the channels. There's all kinds of channels there that you can tune into and get information from this place and that place and the other place. It's like that. And that's the way we're built. And it isn't special. It isn't new. But what is new about it is that we are able to now, at this time, bring it to a stronger front. And we need to unify our efforts in this as a humanity to support the shift and the frequency that the earth herself is offering as a purification and a healing. So from the perspective of the shaman, the shamanic priestess, and also the yogis, this is not new information. This is very typical to be able to know that the entire universe, the entire wisdom, the entirety of consciousness is actually already here. It's a matter of peeling back the layers and giving the proper structure and process to connecting to that point. And that is the movement of the new earth.